Breaking news.
Malaria prevails. About 1,700 cases are reported annually, or have we found a way to prevent it? A new vaccine, PFSPZ, is being developed to better prevent malaria.
But what does this mean for RTSS, the vaccine that is currently in use to protect against malaria? In my opinion, the new vaccine, Plasmodium falciparum sporozoite, will be a better agent to protect against malaria.
More on this topic later when we introduce our special guest. But first, the weather with Mariela.
Thank you, Kayla. We are reporting live from sub-Saharan Africa. The weather here has been mostly warm and sunny. Here, we have been having a huge problem with malaria. Different mechanisms have been developed to evade this infection. Our sources inform us that people presenting the sickle cell trait have incorporated protection against P. falciparum. We were informed that they were doing so by changing their erythrocyte topology, thus affecting their adhesive properties in the proteins. This is not the only mechanisms. Immune response police are outraged and are currently working along the international scientists to control this spread and reduce vertical transmission. Hold on. We are receiving live information from our sources. An intruder has in fact crossed the first line of defense and reached the state of liver. Immune response police is being activated to defeat this invasion. Interferon 1 was called into action via pattern recognition receptor center. Agents, natural killer cells, and gamma delta T cells are attempting to control this situation. They are being aided by hepcidin. This is a hostage situation. Apparently, the intruders are fighting the Kafir police to gain control of liver. We seem to have lost communication with our reporters at the scene. We don't know what exactly is happening. That is all we have for now. On another note, specialists are recommending the use of insect repellent, protective clothing, and insecticide-treated nests. Travelers are strongly advised to take measures accordingly. Additionally, continuous research is aiming the enhancement of previously developed treatments. Vaccines are undergoing research. However, none have yet proven to be effective. Back to the studio with you, Kayla.
Thank you, Mariela.
Now to David, who is our local sports correspondent.
How's it going over there, David?
Thanks, guys. Today we have an epic game. Going head to head are P. falciparum versus RTSS. Alright. Looks like we're gonna have a great game today. Looks like they're finishing getting ready, putting in the last booster shots. One with RTSS and the other with PFSPZ. Let's have a closer look with RTSS player. Looks like the anti-CS protein is being introduced to the antigen presenting cells. They're going to activate the CD4 T cells in order to prepare for an invasion of those pesky Plasmodium falciparum. Let's tune into the other player with PFSPC. Pretty interesting. This vaccine seems to be stimulating both CD4, CD8 T cells, and gamma delta T cells, which have an advantage over those humoral and intracellular infections. Alright, looks like this game is about to start. This mosquito is making his way towards the first player. It flies in, goes in fast, and it takes the landing. Tense all around the scoreboard. While this mosquito enjoys its supper, now P. falciparum is making its way towards the liver. Wait a second, what is this? Oh my. Looks like the anti-CS antibodies and the CSP-specific CD4 cells were anticipating this visit. This lymphocyte fight back with all sorts of cytokines. We got some interleukin-2s, tumor necrosis factors alpha, and interferon gamma on this field. All this makes its way to the CS protein and smothers it. Looks like the falciparum will not win today. Now let's have a look at the second team represented by Little Susie. It looks like the falciparum sporozoite was stealthy enough to make their way into the liver. But not so fast. Doesn't seem like the immune system in the PFSBC competitor is bamboozled by it. This mechanism happened so quickly right before my eyes. In fact, as I try and look at the replay, even the cameras couldn't catch it. Alright, now let's look at the scoreboard. Out of Jesse's first RTS group, only one of the 3 contenders came unaffected with malaria. Susie's group with the PFSPC seems to have all of his 3 members unaffected, for a total score of 30% for RTSS and 100% for PFSPZ. Well, there you have it. That was a hell of a game. back to you guys at the studio.
Today we have special guests. The creators of the malaria vaccine, Matana is here to represent the Plasmodium falciparum and Sporozoite vaccine PFSPZ. And Janet is here on behalf of the RTSS vaccine.
All right, hello. Thank you for having me today, and clearly the most superior vaccine.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Well, let's start with what can you tell us about the advantages of your vaccine, and let's start with you, Matana.
Okay, I would like to start off by saying that PFSPC is great for numerous of reasons. Our clinical trials has shown that it's increased the immune response, including CD4, CD8, interferon gamma, antibodies, and gamma delta T cells. It is start off protecting and stopping the infections at the pre-electrocytic site. Provide long-term protection because we have see that delta gamma T cells has capability of memory. It's also protecting host cells because it does not attack host cells.
Alrighty, I'd like to start off by saying that RTSS was the first vaccine created. It's already in its phase 4 of clinical trials, but regardless, some of the benefits that we offer are that it's also pre-zoonotic, and it blocks the parasitic infection from reaching the liver, and it has fewer side effects during phase 3.
Okay. So I have some questions for you regarding your vaccine. Your vaccine does your vaccine activate a strong immune response like mine does?
No, it actually just specifically attacks the CF protein via via CD4 positive T cells. Thus, it prevents the motility to the liver and elimination of the sporocyte. So the efficacy of the vaccine is actually 30%.
30%. That's nothing compared to our vaccine, which is live attenuated vaccine, which allow for memory.
Okay, let's settle down. What is the efficacy of PFSPZ?
Thank you. It's 100%.
Wow, that's pretty great. That's amazing.
But how many subjects did you use?
We only used 6 subjects, but that was because we're still under study, and we're still currently in a clinical trial phase 2. So that's the matter of subjects difference.
Well, RTSS is already in phase 4.
Your vaccine on phase 4? That's great to hear. But even though your vaccine is farther along in clinical trials, we have found that your vaccine has some side effects like meningitis, but our vaccines have only the constitutional symptoms like fevers and muscle pains. So how would you explain about your meningitis issue?
Well, it does cause meningitis, but that's not the point.
So you say that's not the point. Are you saying that we should ignore that?
Well, if you don't mind me asking, how's your vaccine stored?
Clearly, you did your study, and our vaccine stored in the liquid nitrogens. However, we still, like we said, we're in phase 2, so we still under study and trying to find the most effective way and the best way to store the vaccine, and we also trying to improve how the vaccine would react to the host.
I see. Okay, well, I think that's not in your favor yet.
Neither it is for you.
Okay, guys, let's settle down. Matana, can you explain a little bit about how the gamma delta T cells might work in your vaccine?
Thank you for the thoughtful question, Kayla. We are still conducting more studies on the delta gamma T cells, but now we are assuming that it is helping for the memory because it does recognize the pathogen compounds that's around the vaccine we're giving. It could recognize the parasite.
What do you think about that, Janet?
Well, I do think that clearly this needs more studies, so I don't think that PFSPZ, It is not the better vaccine at this point.
Well, guys, clearly you're both great, and I think we need to work together to really solve the malaria crisis.
I agree, Kayla. Both RTSS and PFSPZ still needs a long way to go.
Thank you for coming, and thank you guys for watching.